I was visiting a church in Springfield, Illinois, and this guy came in, and I thought, he's pretty hot. And I heard he was singing at the church.
It was the song I Believe, and as I was singing it, I was looking at her thinking, I believe this is the best looking girl I've ever seen.
He was dating my best friend, and I was actually dating one of his very good friends. They broke up. We broke up. He started calling me. I kept saying no. He called me for New Year's Eve and said, "What's your excuse this time?"
I went to church camp, and he lives right across from the camp, and they came over and picked up the garbage every day and took it home to the hogs. I thought he was a pretty cool-looking garbage man.
I was working at the college shoveling snow that winter break, and the guy that I shoveled with said, well, if you love her so much, why don't you marry her? I had to sign a contract with her father to marry her.
We're probably nervous about asking her dad, you know. There weren't any flowers and roses and things of that sort. Back then, this was a serious commitment. It wasn't just on a whim. I wanted to find a Christian gal that loved the Lord that I could live the rest of my life with.
He wasn't really popular with my mother.
No kidding.
He really knew how to show a girl a good time.
Then one day I picked her up and I said, there's something in the glove box for you.
And it
She
was a
accepted
ring.
the ring.
It's so important that you stay an individual when you get married. We see a lot of people with unrealistic expectations. They think that all their problems are going to be solved, that they're going to be best friends, that they have to be together 24/7. They can never have an argument, and it's the end of their other friendships. They're just going to be friends with each other. And that is such a bad idea, and we've learned the importance of autonomy.
I went from my mom and dad's home to our home, and that was a big shock for me.
I think in your first year you realize how your backgrounds have been so different and you have to meet in the middle. For me, that was hard. I just thought
Very structured
he was
background.
raised like I was and it would be easy and he would just do things like my family did. Wrong.
At first I was so busy working. In the evenings I would play ball, and during the day I would work, and it was just hard to keep up with things. I got down on my knees a few times and just said, God, I need your help.
I could not get pregnant after 7 years of marriage, and we really wanted a baby. And that became a real issue.
I think our faith in our knowledge of other Christian folks, got us through that, because probably one of the highlights of our marriage was our kids. We ended up being able to adopt 2 boys at very young age. One was 5 days old, one was 2 days old.
They said I could never get pregnant through all this, and even I had been to Mayo Clinic and this type thing, and they found out I was pregnant, and so Megan came along. So all 3 of our children are miracle babies.
When you're in the middle of a struggle, it seems like it'll never end. But when you look back on it, you think, it wasn't that bad. I made it, and I learned a lot. He loves to sit on the porch in storms. He'll come get me and go, come on, we gotta sit on the porch. And we listen to it thunder and lightning. And
They remind me that problems pass.
When you have children and you're spending a lot of time on your children, and they need to have a lot of time spent on them, but don't make them your life, because they're going to grow up and they're going to go, and you're going to be left with your husband. And it's going to be the 2 of you again.
And it's just a two-way street. I mean, you really got to show that you care about them.
She wouldn't have married me if she'd known how flawed I was. But what she did know that was right was that I was a guy who could grow. I'm not the Holy Spirit. I'm not going to change her. And she's not the Spirit. She's not going to change me. And when she stopped trying to change me and started praying for God to do that, it was remarkable.
it worked a lot better.
Forgiving one another has probably saved our marriage.
You got to have that faith in God to hang on to during these tough times.
If we work on staying close to God, the closer we get to God, there's Joyce, there's me, and the closer we The closer we get to God, the closer we get to each other. So we're just working on focusing on Him.
I know when you're young and you're getting married, everybody focuses on the wedding. The wedding, the wedding. There's so much going on with the wedding. The wedding is a day. A marriage is a lifetime.
That's pretty good.